Hi there, greetings everybody. Good evening, and welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show. So we're back with that series, that mini series we've been running called "Who Had the Better Album Run?" And he's given me a couple of, I think, evenly matched individuals here. You got Van Halen, and you got AC/DC here. Both of them, the 6 album runs from album 1 to 6, from album 1 to 6. The other commonalities that really kind of match up here is you've got 2 vocalists who both were out of the band after the 6th album. One due to death, the other due to leaving the band. But probably my 2 favorite artists in both bands are the vocalists. Also, some interesting guitar matchups here. You got one guy who's kind of like a madman on stage, full on thrusting and riffing, and his brother doing the same thing. And then you've got one guy who's a virtuoso. Very good rhythm sections and very good riff master sections from both bands. And so we're going to be talking about, of course, AC/DC and Van Halen. Yeah. 2 bands that I was really quite into early on in my music career, both in the early 80s with the Back in Black album setting AC/DC on fire for me. And then shortly after that, I got into Van Halen. Van Halen made it as far up as number 4 in my band list, my favorite bands. AC/DC never quite cracked the top 10, but I've always been in that range between 10 and about 18 or so. AC/DC currently would be ranked higher than Van Halen because Van Halen I haven't really listened to much over the years. The styles are very different too, so AC/DC to me is the quintessential formula rock and roll band, hard rock band too, but basically a formula rock and roll band. They knew how to pound out the riffs and how to make people get hooked on them. They've sold millions and millions of albums, so they know what they're doing. Van Halen, on the other hand, started out as almost a metal band and then kind of became a rock kind of multitasking band that did some blues and some weird songs in there too. So a lot of different ranges on their stuff, and always doing a ton of cover songs where I don't think AC/DC did any covers that I know of. I can't think of any. Maybe there was 1 or 2, but I don't remember any where Van Halen did a ton of that stuff. AC/DC more of a pounding on stage dominating type of band, where Van Halen maybe more of a showboating type band, but both of them very strong followings, I think. So I'm going to go through the discography of both. We'll start with AC/DC since that's the band he gave me first. So I do not have the first two albums by AC/DC, which one was TNT, the other one was High Voltage. However, do have the International High Voltage, which is kind of a combo of both of those albums. So you've got some songs from both albums on here. Both albums, the original 2 albums, I wouldn't say they were weak. They've taken the best tracks off of both of them and put them on here. So this is a much better album, but those 2 are decent albums. This has like TNT from the TNT album and has High Voltage from the High Voltage album, and then a mix of other songs in there from it. So definitely a decent 2 first albums. Not overly successful, but both did good. The remix of the both of them, this one has a lot of stuff. In A Long Way to the Top. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. One of the great, what do they call it, bagpipe solos of all time, right? You got the Jack here, which is a classic by these guys. Live Wire and High Voltage are both great tunes. Can I Sit Next to You is kind of a bit of a Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? Kind of creepy. It's a creepy song. No two ways about it. TNT is really good too. And then it's got some stuff that, She's Got Balls, Little Lover, Rock and Roll Singer, kind of like thrown in there, I think. But overall, this is a strong album. I like this a lot. I don't know if I have these. I don't think I have these in the right row. Yeah, I got them upside down. So I'm not sure which one of these came next, but I'm pretty sure it was this one. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. This is, to me, the weakest AC/DC album. It's got a couple of tracks here that aren't too bad. Problem Child's on here, but it also appears on the next album as well. But this version is okay, not too bad. One on A Long Way to the Top, If You Want to Rock and Roll. Let There Be Rock, sorry, that's the one. That one's going to be a little bit better, I think. There's going to be some rock in. Squealer, Ain't No Fun, Love at First Feel. Yeah, the songs are a little on the creepy side. It's not the best of albums. I never really got off on it too much. Next up, and I'm not sure if I got these two right either, but we'll go with them. You've got Let There Be Rock. I love the album cover. I love the sound of this album. This is a full-on AC/DC album. Go Down, Go Down. Yeah, I love it. Dog Eat Dog and Eat Cat too. Great tune. Let There Be Rock. Fantastic song. Even Bad Boy Boogie, which I think is one of the weaker tracks here, is still really strong. Problem Child, maybe the best track on the album. Overdosed on You. Yeah, this is another killer track. Hell Ain't No Bad Place to Be, one of the underrated AC/DC songs, fantastic. And then ends off with Whole Lotta Rosie. This is a strong, strong album. Probably, in my opinion, probably the strongest of the Bon Scott era albums. Next up, you've got Power Age. This is another strong album. Give Me a Bullet. I like that. Who's Next to the Moon? Up to My Neck in You and Kick in the Teeth. This is a strong album. I don't really have an affinity for it though. I'm not really sure what that's about. Should have a strong affinity for this. It has a lot of really strong stuff on it. Nice picture of the boys on the back here. And then the last album, this one's a killer as well. Highway to Hell. Without Back in Black, this probably is their biggest selling album. Really strong album. I could have seen if Scott had lived and gone on to the next album, it would have been probably stronger than this too. So I don't know that Brian Jones would have made a huge difference, although he did make a big difference. But I don't know if it would have made any more of a big difference if Bon Scott had been alive. Maybe the album would have been different. Who knows? This has Highway to Hell, the title track, in the right spot at the top. Girls Got Rhythm, good song. Walk All Over You, this is a great song too. Too Touch Too Much, this is one of the great underrated AC/DC tracks. Beating Around the Bushes, it's kind of okay. Shot Down in Flames, fantastic tunes. Fantastic. Get it hot, get it hot, oh come on baby, get it hot. Yeah, I love that song. If You Want Blood, You Got It. Love Hungry Man, this one's kind of a little bit turned down a bit, but it's really good. And then Night Prowler, really good. So great album cover. Great songs, fantastic way for Bon Scott to end up his career. Couldn't be any better. So that's the AC/DC list for tonight. Now the Van Halen list. I have a lot more familiarity with the Van Halen list, but a lot of that familiarity is very many years in the past, where the AC/DC, some of the AC/DC stuff has been kind of renewed since I got all the albums again. So we got the debut album, fantastic. This is just proliferated with hits. Running with the Devil, opening up really great. Eruption and You Really Got Me, fantastic. Ain't Talking About Love possibly was my favorite song on this album for many years. I'm the one, the one you. Yeah. Jamie's Crying, another great hit for the radio. Atomic Punk, really great deep cut. Feel Your Love Tonight, another radio stuff. Little Dreamer, this is great. Ice Cream Man, this is really great too. And then On Fire to end the album is a strong, strong album. I don't really think AC/DC has anything to match this album early on. Anyways, maybe the last couple, Let There Be Rock and Highway to Hell, might be matches for it. Next up is Van Halen 2, which is an album I didn't initially like much. In fact, I never listened to it, but I've grown to like it quite a bit. It's the one album that's really grown for me with them. It does have the two covers. They tend to have covers on almost all their albums. You're No Good and Dance the Night Away, which will be the featured song on Who Did It Better this week. So please join me in for that one. Somebody Get Me a Doctor. That's an okay song. Bottoms Up, really great. Out of Love. Light Up the Sky. Spanish Flies, good. DOA. Women in Love, and Beautiful Girls to end it off. Beautiful Girls might have been the only track that I really liked on this album initially. Some of the other stuff's quite grown. It's turned into a decent album. Next up, Van Halen, Women and Children's Verses, the first assault on Van Halen for me. I didn't own this album. My friend had this one. It was my turn to get the next one, but he got this one. And The Cradle Will Rock, great opening track. Everybody Wants Some. These are two classic Van Halen songs. Fools is good. Romeo's Delight is okay. Tora is okay. Lots of Control. This one's a little bit odd. I find this a bit of a strange song. Take Your Whiskey Home. Great track. Could This Be Magic? Or Could This Be Love? Yeah, kind of quirky. In the Simple Rhyme, really good ending to the album. This is a strong album for Van Halen. Next is Fair Warning, easily the best album of all of these albums, I think. It's in a league by itself, I believe. That's just the way I see it. Mean Street and Unchained, two of the classic Van Halen songs. But the deep cuts are what really sell this album for me. Dirty Movies is great. Sinner Swing is up-tempo, hard driving. Hear About It Later is kind of a radio-friendly song, but not too bad. It hasn't aged as well as some of the other tracks. Push Comes to Shove, probably my favorite of all time on this album. I like this song a lot. The bottom three tracks, So This Is Love, yeah, that's a weak track. Sunday Afternoon in the Park, kind of unmemorable. One Foot Out the Door is kind of quirky, but I don't mind it. So, yeah, this album, fantastic. Next up is the Van Halen cover album. That's what I call it, Diver Down. But they do such a good job on their covers, man. One of the best bands at covering other bands' music. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Of course, is another Kink song. Great, well done. Hang 'Em High is fantastic. Cathedral is an interesting sound, the use of keyboards here. I think this was the beginning of the kind of problems that David Lee Roth had with them. He didn't like all of the keyboard stuff, and they didn't like his antics, so it was a mutual problem. Secrets is good. Intruder, nice opening for Oh Pretty Woman, nice cover of Roy Orbison's song there. Dancing in the Streets, another cover, but really well done. Little Guitars, the intro is good, but the song is even better. And my personal favorite of the covers on here, Big Bad Bill, is Sweet William Now. I love this song. Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now. Yeah, gotta love that one. You got Full Bug, great driving song. And then Happy Trails, which is just a throw on. They do a good version of it, though, I have to admit. And then the sixth album on the list, 1984. This is the only one I did not own back in the day. I've got it recently. I quite like it. I think I probably should have bought it back when it came out. I didn't because I found it too poppy with the two hits, Panama and Jump. I didn't care for either of them. Yeah, I liked them a little at the beginning, but they just wore out real quick. Top Jimmy's okay. Drop Dead Legs is good. Hot for Teacher probably gets overplayed too, really. I'll Wait, Girl Gone Bad, and House of Pain. So to me, this is probably the weakest of their 6 albums, but it's not terrible. There's no terrible albums here. So if I was to I've looked at all of them. AC/DC maybe a little bit more now. AC/DC is a bigger band for me than Van Halen, but if you'd gone back in the day, Van Halen would have blown them away, but not so much no more. I think Van Halen, AC/DC, much stronger. But if I could only keep one of them, and who had the better 6 album run, I think Van Halen wins it by consistency. They were consistently really good to great albums with a couple of maybe a little on the weak side albums where AC/DC wasn't as consistent. Their top albums are fantastic. This one, Highway to Hell, Power Age is good. Let There Be Rock is almost a masterpiece. This one not so good either. Actually, I don't even like this one much at all, but this one's fantastic, and its component albums, TNT and that, are both good albums too. So, yep, I think I'm going to just barely give this to Van Halen just from sheer, I guess it would just be sheer, and it's a little bit higher of an overall feel to it as opposed to AC/DC. I think AC/DC has a couple albums that kind of drag them a bit, but other than that, both excellent bands. Highly like them both. I'm going to go with Van Halen tonight, but I can certainly understand if you think AC/DC is better. I'm not going to argue it. They sold more albums. Probably at the height of their career were bigger, but at this time with these 6 albums, I think Van Halen was a little bit better. That's my choice. Anyways, please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about anything I've said, you can do that in the comment section. Want to talk about AC/DC or about Van Halen, you can. Want to talk about any of the albums and the runs or what run you think is better, you can do that as well. So we'll see you all next week for episode number, I think this is number 3 or is this number 4? Yeah, I didn't put a number, but we'll be having another one next week. So this is a 6-album run. So hopefully you enjoy that. We'll see you all next week and take care and have a good one. Goodbye.